Hi, it's Wellness Wednesday. I hope you are well and you can hear me okay. Just bear with me. I'm going to try and make this a bit bigger so I can see. So I think I'm live now. I hope your week is going well. I just thought I'd give you a brief update on my week, which didn't start out as I had planned, but I'm not looking for sympathy. I thought I would use this experience to share some insights with you about amygdala hijack, self-care, and how to reset after an accident. So on Monday morning on the commute to school, we were stationary at near a roundabout with a queue of traffic in front of us, and someone ploughed into the back of us. And it wasn't a little bump where they've just accidentally taken their foot off, they actually rammed into us. So we didn't hit the car in front, but it was a big impact to the car. And I now see that the rear of the car is damaged in multiple places, not just one place, which I initially noticed. But I got out of the car, and the girls were saying, "Mummy, what's happened? What's happened?" And then I got out of the car, and the person who got out of their car was a teenage girl in a school uniform. And immediately, actually, I found myself, I couldn't speak, and I said to her, I passed her my phone and I said, "Please put down your phone number, your name and your address into the notes." So she did that while I was just kind of regrouping and looking around as to what's happening. And then I took a photo of her license plate, and she said, she was saying, I'm so sorry, are you okay? And I couldn't bring myself to say anything to her. And it was interesting because I was almost like having an out-of-body experience, observing myself, not saying anything to her. And then eventually she said, "Oh, can you call me tonight and tell me you're okay?" But at that time, I was processing 1,000,001 different things. And I said to her, "Look, I'm sorry, but I can't speak because I don't want to say anything unkind to you." And she said, "Oh, okay. And I said, "So I'm just going to go now, okay?" So I got in the car and drove the kids to school. And I was kind of in shock, and they were in shock, and they were asking me, "Mummy, what's happened? Why did that lady crash into us?" And blah, blah, blah. And so then my eldest and I both felt the impact in our back, and it was probably a little bit sore, but she said she was happy to go to school, and the younger one said she was fine. She didn't feel much, but she's got a much bigger seat around her. So we went to school, and I had a meeting on Monday morning, so I went and got on with my meeting. But the whole time I was thinking, I need to call the insurance, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. And outside of the meeting, I had never had to use this insurer before, so it was the first time I've ever had to contact them, and I didn't have their details on me, so I needed to get my husband to send me the details. And then I was filling in the online claim form, and at the same time knowing that I had to go into a meeting. So I thought I filled out all the form correctly. I got an email saying, "Yes, you can take your car to this place, you have this. Anyway, so I thought, okay, that's cool, that's one thing sorted. And I jumped out of the car and I went into the meeting. And when I came out of the meeting, I noticed that my windows were down, my car was unlocked. Like, I'd literally just abandoned the car, left it sitting outside unlocked with loads of stuff in it, and thought, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then I got a phone call from school saying, "Please come and collect your daughter, she's in pain." So I drove to pick her up, took her to the doctor, we both saw the doctor. And then I just started to feel really, really drained and tired, like I felt absolutely exhausted. And sorry, I can see that there is pop-ups coming on my screen. I literally couldn't, I was driving around in a daze thinking, I'm so exhausted, I just need to lie down. So whilst I was at the doctor with my eldest, the school called again and said, "You need to come and get the youngest." So I had to go back then to get the youngest, and then I had 2 kids home with me for the afternoon whilst I just felt like I wanted to sleep for 1,000 years. And of course, when you've got 2 small kids at home, you can't really rest. So there was mummy all afternoon. and I felt myself kind of going down, 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 and then I felt my frustration and anxiety rising and rising. And I was, trying to keep calm so that I didn't get upset with them, but also conscious that I still needed to do all the mum stuff, make dinner, I couldn't just switch off. And then I got a message or a phone call from the mother of the teenage girl saying to me, oh, she's a P-plater and her insurance are really high, and can you take it to your local garage? And I said, I'm sorry, it's too late. I've already dealt with this. And I hung up, and I got a bit upset because I thought, hang on a minute, I'm the one that's inconvenienced. I'm the one that's rushing around trying to sort things out. I'm the one that's exhausted. So unless you have a nursemaid on call that you can send over to look after me and the kids right now, just don't come asking me to make your life easier for you. So that was interesting because I started to notice myself getting really quite irritated. And then yesterday morning, my eldest said she was fine, so I took her to school. And as I was leaving school, I bumped into a friend who's a psychologist, and I said, oh, I'm sorry, I can't chat, I need to take my car to get repaired. And I told her what happened, and she said to me, only maybe 3 or 4 words, she said, oh, you poor thing, I'm so sorry, your amygdala's probably still turned on. And it's quite funny because I know about cognitive first aid, I know about stress response, I know about the amygdala, but it wasn't until she actually said that to me I thought, yes, you're right. So, and this is why I was starting to feel all the things I'd feeling, not just shock, but my amygdala, flight or fight, and the emotional center of my brain, and the human prefrontal cortex of my brain, my executive function was gone. Like I couldn't think and plan and make decisions for myself. So, and then I took the car to the repairman, and the lady says to me, oh, you're a day early. So I completely cocked that up. I basically arrived at the garage one day early. And she said, so they've ordered parts for my car, but that's going to take weeks and weeks. So I'm now driving around again in a dented up, banged up car, which is hugely embarrassing because it seems to happen too often. And so I was sorting out the car. But then I came home and I thought, oh, okay, I need to just now lie down and rest and try to reset my amygdala. So I did a couple of things. I did a meditation. I rubbed lavender oil around my back and my neck. I had some really yummy food to eat and just started to try and calm down my central nervous system because I thought, right, I need to reset. I can't be walking around with no executive function going on in the front part of my brain, and I've also got quite a lot of work that I want to be doing. And on a professional level, I think my executive function is still intact, but on a personal level, my executive function is not intact. And then last night I was reading a bit more about this. People who've suffered PTSD or other forms of long-term chronic stress are much more prone to overactive amygdala when something happens. So basically, your stress response or your flight or fight response will be much stronger, more quicker than a person who potentially hasn't had PTSD or chronic stress or so on and so forth. So that was quite an interesting insight. So I thought, right, okay, I'm going to dedicate my day yesterday to self-care. So food, bath, rest, oils, breathing, meditating, stretching, and noticing my emotions as they were coming up and trying not to react too strongly to them. So just containing it. What's also interesting about this, when things go wrong for us or when we, or things could be better, we get I'm going to call it half-assed offers of help. So they're offers of help with conditions attached, which is very unhelpful. Or you get people lecturing you, you should do this, you should do this, have you thought about this, have you thought about that? All of that is unhelpful. So I've been noticing as well, like the offers of help with conditions attached, which is also quite irritating. And for me, if we offer help, it should be followed through and also be a serious commitment to helping. So I don't want to discourage anyone from offering to help others, but if you're going to offer to help, it needs to be 100% followed through based on what the person needs. So essentially, what is it that you need? What can I help you with right now? As opposed to all these advices and suggestions which are completely unhelpful and not what the person needs right now. So that's been a reminder for me this morning, is how people pretend or want to be helpful, but there's always conditions attached, which is very unhelpful and equally frustrating. So that's really has been a very interesting few days. So, you know, I was conscious of the fact that I needed to perform cognitive first aid on myself. You know, we've had that discussion with Dov a few weeks ago, and I shared that interview in the wellness school about what happens when, you know, we have a traumatic or shock or a stressful event in our life, and how we can reset our brain. How I want to get out of the reptilian mammalian part of my brain and start using the prefrontal cortex of my brain again, and calm down my amygdala. So those are things that I've been focusing on to try and reset as quickly as possible. My back has been sore. The pain's moved down into my lower back and my hips today from my upper middle back, so I need to do a bit more TLC around that. And I did some Epsom salt warm baths with oil. So really it's just about trying to take care of yourself. But then I thought as well, okay, I need to now engage nutrition. So this morning I've had a breakfast which is high in omega-3 and essential fatty fats for our brain. So avocado, salmon, eggs, what else, kimchi. So I think, yeah, I was feeling very sick in the stomach the last 2 days, so making sure that I'm giving my gut some support, and just really focusing on looking after myself in all aspects, mentally, emotionally, physically, nutrition, so on and so forth. So this is just really some ways I thought I could unpack what happened, share with you a little few insights into what's happened. You know, amygdala hijack is where now amygdala takes over our brain and we can't function properly because we're in flight or fight response. The emotional centers of our brain is turned on, and really to try and calm that down by breathing, observing your feelings, emotions, doing things to calm your central nervous system and to relax. And you know, I know that I'll feel better in a few days. I'm very grateful that it wasn't worse. The car is drivable, and the girls are safe, and I'm relatively safe, and so there's lots of good things to be grateful for. But it's just a huge inconvenience. Not nice to have a back injury, because I had whiplash years ago from a head-on collision. This is a rear collision, so I've had my body pushed in the opposite direction to last time. So just wanting to share some insights into that. And if you have had something similar in your life recently, maybe you can employ some tactics, because, you know, self-care isn't just for holidays, it's for all the time. And we do want to remain as productive as possible, able to take care of ourselves and our children, and to employ some of these tactics and strategies to help us reset and rest and calm our amygdala. And yesterday I ended up sleeping for about 3 hours uninterrupted in the middle of the day, which is what my body mostly needed, because my body really and my brain went into complete exhaustion mode. Like I couldn't do anything. So today I do feel much better, and I'm having lots of juice and yummy food to help me. So I hope you are well. Thought I would share a story. Not pleasant, but there are lots of people worse off than me, so I don't need sympathy or anything like that. I just thought it's a helpful lesson to kind of reflect on all the things I've learned and practiced over time. So have a great week wherever you are. Hope that flooding and everything else you're safe from, and I'm thinking of you. Take care. Bye.